You're listening to a special edition of the Just Go Bike Podcast. That's AKA Murph.
And that's AP. And this is the award-winning podcast where we talk about cycling just for the fun of it, with tales from all over the nation. Come for the bikes, stay for the fun, and leave with a smile.
On this special pre-ride edition, we're going to provide you with daily tales from the trail as we ride our bikes across the state of Iowa as a part of RAGBRAI 52.
And we apologize in advance for any background noise. We will be recording live in the wild each episode.
We will be right back.
At First Form, they're more than just supplements. They're built for performance, driven by purpose, and proud to fuel the RAGBRAI journey.
First Form helps real people earn real long-term results on the bike and beyond.
From clean energy to high-protein snacks that actually fuel you, they're here to keep you moving, recovering, and riding strong.
Come find the First Form team out on the route. Let's crush RAGBRAI together.
Now, back to the show.
Well, hey, Murph.
Well, hey, AP, what a day we've had today.
Yes, you know what? The thing about the pre-ride or the route inspection is that sometimes stuff happens that you can't predict.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of the adventure of being on a bicycle.
Yeah.
So today we were faced with some inclement weather that was pretty insurmountable, and we ended up not riding today during the route inspection. When we woke up this morning, there was lightning. It was pouring. There were 20 to 30 mile per hour crosswinds, and the temperature felt like about 43 degrees. So, and beyond that, we were going to be riding on Highway 9, which will be perfectly safe and, assisted with the state patrol during RAGBRAI.
Right, but today...
But for such a small group on the road today in such conditions where visibility would be super low, it just wasn't safe for us or the riders to be out there.
Yep. And I can speak on behalf of the whole gang that we were extremely disappointed, but we also understand the reason for, the safety, the lightning, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But the silver lining is that we still visited each and every town.
Yeah.
We are stuffed to the gills with food and hospitality.
I think we had 4 breakfasts today and then went right on into lunch.
Yeah.
But that's just shows you that these towns are here for us. They are ready. They cannot wait to welcome 15 to 20,000 people in a month. That's right.
We have some really excellent towns this week, or today especially. So we are going to go through all of them and let you know what we experienced today and what you can look forward to on RAGBRAI.
Yes. So officially today was day 3 and we left Estherville. We talked a lot of good things about Estherville. I don't think we mentioned that we were at Woody's Pizza.
Ooh, yeah.
But wow. Great pizza,
Super
great
good.
Service, nice space. So
yeah,
I don't recall if that's on the route or close to the route, but maybe jot it down if you're big into pizza.
Yeah.
And you need a place to go Estherville night.
It's right across the street from Casey's, so you can't miss it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so day 3 in the morning, first stop was Armstrong, and great group of people were there to greet us. We did spend some time in their museum, and they are very excited to show off their museum. I believe it was Janet, maybe. There was a very nice couple that was there while we were there, and then they said that to accommodate all the extra traffic, they're going to make it a one-way. So you walk in the museum, you sign the book so that they can, get grants, and then you go through the museum, and they'll have a special exit for us out the back.
Yeah. And this museum is stuffed to the gills with awesome historic items, and so much so that they have multiple buildings where we toured sort of like the military memorabilia and sort of the household items, but then they also have an agricultural building and a couple of historic buildings around as well. It's just really, really neat, nicely put together, nicely labeled, and like you said, so welcoming. I feel like the museum is a can't miss.
Yeah. So then when you're out with the local vendors or local businesses, keep in mind that they have a swimming pool that was built in 1959.
Wow.
Still operational, although they kind of smirked when they say that. So they it must be in need of repair. So most of the proceeds are going to park projects, and one of that is hopefully they can get a new swimming pool.
Yeah.
From all of us riders pitching in and eating their great food.
Yeah. So right when you come into town, you'll see they have an incredible park. It's beautiful. The shelter is huge. And of course, the piece de resistance is their Freedom Rock, which is right there in the park. So don't miss that. And then once you come into town, the community center will have the Armstrong Betterment Club will be serving breakfast, and they'll have biscuits and gravy. I know a lot of people look for that. Cheesy hash browns, bacon and sausage, fruit, bars, and everything you might want. But if you don't find what you want there, you can head over to the VFW or the garage, which a lot of our fellow riders toured.
Yes, we did tour both. Yep.
And in the garage is a bar, and they'll be having, I believe, a beer garden, but they'll also have all sorts of, they had breakfast pizza. Apparently the breakfast pizza was incredible. A lot of our riders sampled that. And as the name kind of implies, it's a classic car aficionados bar, and they'll have classic cars there and other memorabilia of cars. So if you're sort of one of those gearheads like Scott Sumter is in our group, you got to go there.
Yeah, definitely.
So...
Okay, so we once we leave, or all of us leave Armstrong, our next stop is Swea City.
Yeah.
And they hold an amazing record for, I believe, I don't know if you have it written down, but it's either the biggest donut or the, I can't recall.
I thought they said it was the world's largest donut.
I know that it had a case, not a 12-pack, but a case of eggs in it, and maybe 2 pounds of flour. I can't recall.
I believe it was 400 pounds in total.
Oh my gosh.
Of donut.
Yeah.
And there was some crazy fact about, like, if you were going to try to eat this whole donut, you'd have to eat 13 donuts a day for a whole year.
A whole year.
A whole year.
And there were people on our team that were considering, if the money was good, they would go for it.
Or maybe it was 400 gallons of lard instead of 400 pounds. Anyway, it's a massive donut.
And I didn't write down what year that donut record took place, but there is a photograph, and I'm sure that they'll have it around town.
You're going to need to go to Swea City and find out all about the donut. And in the meantime, they're going to be having, I believe it's at the Firehouse, they're going to have donut breakfast sandwiches.
Oh my gosh.
So the donut is the bread, and then they'll have regular breakfast sandwich fillings inside.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a glazed donut. It had like the frosting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You look at it and you're like, sweet, savory, and a little bit of protein in there.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I also in Swea City had, I think it was my second piece of pie, perhaps my third. I had, at this point, I've had so much food today, but it was awesome.
It was so good. Yeah. I got a picture with the lady who made the pie. Yeah. It was so good.
If you're a kind of person who might want a piece of pie for breakfast, hold out for Swea City.
There's your place.
Yeah.
Yep.
Head over there.
Yep.
So they were super cool. We loved Swea City. Great breakfast town. I believe a lot of their proceeds are also going to fix up a swimming pool.
Okay, cool.
Which is in their town. So 2 pools in a row, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
From there, we rolled on into Bancroft.
Bancroft had the S&B Farms Distillery, which was so cool. Not only do they make spirits, and I guess you and I didn't, but a lot of people taste tested. But you go around the corner and they had live animals. Yeah. So they had 2 goats they may have been siblings. I don't know. One was older. So cute. They had a puppy. And they had some characters that probably will be around during Real RAGBRAI.
Yeah, don't even pass over the puppy. It was an 8-week-old puppy named Sammy. Oh my goodness, what a cutie. Yeah, but we also met a nun today.
Yes, her sign said Sister Mary Holy Water. Yeah, Sister Mary Holy Water. And you may remember, if you've done RAGBRAI before, she was cruising around in Emmitsburg on a Segway. And so I'm telling her the story. I'm like, oh my God, Sister Mary, you're not going to believe this, but there was a nun in Emmitsburg on a Segway. And she goes, really? That was me.
She really gets around.
And she said she has a new Segway. It's smaller wheels. So she will be out again this year.
Oh.
So, and Sister Holy Mary. Oh no, I forgot how do you say it.
Sister Mary Holy Water.
Sister Mary Holy Water is indeed actually a little bit shorter than me, which is incredible.
Yeah, she's a little nun with a lot of character. Yeah.
Yep.
So after that, they had a great organizational system where we all split up into groups and we all went and toured different things of the city. Obviously, Mr. Pork Chop is from Bancroft. So one group went and had pork chops. My group went to Johansson's Cafe, and we had beef sandwiches, and they were so good. They're going to do a meal deal out of the cafe. So if you're into that kind of thing, it was a very filling, hearty sandwich. It's going to be great. So I highly recommend that. And then the rest of my group went to St. Joe's Church. And it's supposed to be very beautiful and has like something like 83 stained glass windows.
Wow.
But
the pictures were amazing.
I did not go there, but let's hear what you did first, and then I'll talk about what I did.
I know everybody's going to enjoy what you have to say, but I saw photos of that church and it was beautiful. My group went to Main Street Pub for lunch. They had acai bowls, which is like a dessert, almost like a sorbet with all kinds of fruit and granola on it. But before that, we had a very hearty bowl of macaroni and cheese and like a pulled pork meat dish. And he is pretty confident that he's going to be able to pull both of those off during RAGBRAI. So
that sounds so
good.
And
the pub is a beautiful space. It's right when you come into town and turn the corner. So they have great plans for that. And then afterwards we went to the museum. So got to see a lot more memorabilia. They're going to be open. It's a really cool museum. So if you have time, go check those places out.
Yeah. So what I did after lunch, second lunch, third lunch, whatever, after eating was I went over, and the fire department for Bancroft was having, and they will have on RAGBRAI. I don't know if you've ever seen, I can't remember what it's called, but it's where two sides of firemen try to squirt a barrel on a line back and forth, and whoever gets the barrel over the line first wins. So it's like sort of reverse tug of war.
Yeah, but it's not just squirt. I mean, you are using real fire hoses.
That's right. Yeah, you're using a real fire hose. So it's an awesome competition. But the thing is that usually you get to watch firemen do this job or this competition.
Yep.
They're letting us do it.
Yeah.
And I have to sadly report that my team lost 3 times in a row. We got drenched. We thought we were wet before from the rain.
Gosh.
No, we got drenched.
I think it's called water ball.
Water ball.
Scott
Thank
Sumter
you.
and I looked it up, and it's very popular in small town fire.
It was incredibly fun. It was, so they have that, and then I got to sit in their pumper truck, and the pumper truck has this crazy fire hose where you can like sort of aim from the front of the truck. You can aim a giant stream of water anywhere you want using a joystick, and you can then turn it from a stream to a fan of water.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was like using a garden hose, and it was just incredible. And I accidentally soaked some fire person's truck, but it was a really special experience. All that to say, the fire department in Bancroft is unfortunately going to be demolished next year. So they're fundraising for a new fire department.
Oh, good.
And they need to raise something like $750,000. They need a lot of money. So they're going to have donation this water ball, and then they're also going to have a wall that you can sign if you want to sign a wall that you can then get a donation or give a donation. And they're also going to have some lunch. So there's all sorts of opportunities to help donate to them and hopefully provide them a new home for their awesome fire trucks in the next year when they have to move out of their current location.
Awesome. Okay, from Bancroft, next stop is Titonka.
Yeah, Titonka.
Another great stop. I had a long conversation with a woman named Lori who has a coffee shop. I believe it's called Rosebud Old Fashions. But she was interested in knowing if riders would drink pickle shots. Just basically pickle juice in a little cup, nothing else. She thought maybe she'd doctor it up with her home spices or something like that. I'm not really sure. But I spoke on behalf of all RAGBRAI riders and said, absolutely.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Pickle shots? Yes.
Definitely.
And she's going to be on the podcast in the future to talk about her coffee shop. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
And then besides that, we went to the Titonka Brewing Company, which was a beautiful space. And we were all cold and wet. I know me and you both bought sweatshirts, so we are now repping Titonka Brewing Company.
That's right.
And I saw several other people getting clothes.
To try to dry off. It was great. Unfortunately, I didn't try any beer because I was so full I could hardly blink.
Me neither.
But Dave Edwards from Primal Wear, he bullied me and made me eat a piece of pie. So I did have an awesome piece of pie from Titonka. And unfortunately, I'm not sure where it came from, but I would hunt that pie down again and eat it because it was really, really good.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so they're going to have all sorts of other snacks. They had some sloppy joes. They had the pickle shots. They had desserts. They had ice cream. There's also going to be a place called Reeb's Wicked Bar and Grill, Smitty's Bar and Grill. So Titonka is going to have a lot of really cool stops. A nice place. And I believe it's right before the Century Loop turns off. So, or you're coming right up on it. So you may want to stop there and fuel up. So from there, we rolled on into Woden. Woden is a cute little town with some really awesome people that live there that hosted us, and we talked through their plans, and it sounds like they're going to be ready for riders.
Yeah, Mayor Paul spoke with all of us. We sat in their community center, and he said that he or the organizations that will be vendors that are local are raising money for two things. Both of them are very awesome. First thing is raising money for the Legion to replace the flags, which we all know how important that is. And then also for new pickleball courts. And you guys know that that's my, secret hobby.
Near and dear to your heart.
Near and dear, yeah. They're also, they feel like Woden is the owner of this game. It's their claim to fame. It's called tape measure races. And I think he was serious when he told us, but it was like literally taking a tape measure, stretching it out, and then letting it fly and seeing who can win. So they are going to have tape measure races.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah. Yep.
So they'll have 12 food vendors. They'll have a beer garden, and they're going to have a local bluegrass band. So a lot of entertainment, a lot of good stuff. They'll have water. Their free water will be at the tennis courts. So if you're looking for that, head over there. Hopefully one of those tennis courts will be converted to a pickleball court the next time we come over.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're going to be all ready for us.
Yep, Mayor Paul is ready. And he did tell us that they are at a population of about 200 people. So 200 people, and they're going to have 20,000 very soon. They're
going to be pulling it off for us. So we're pretty excited.
Yep. Okay, our last stop before we hit Forest City is Crystal Lake. And we had a lot of fun there because, well, let's just say fish, fire, and Mexican.
Okay.
So do you want to elaborate?
Sure. Well, Woden is home to Crystal Lake is home to the world's largest bullhead sculpture. It's very large.
12 feet long, 4 feet tall.
It's very large. Fantastic photo op. It's right in front of the lake.
Yeah.
And it's debatable whether or not the fish was made after a real fish. Maybe not. Maybe. You have to ask a local.
Yeah.
But
actually, every local you ask has a different story.
So.
And I think that the sculpture was originally erected in the 50s.
That's
I think it's been there a long time.
Yeah.
So, yep.
So the fish was cool. So then we also had a fire truck escort into town.
Yes.
And it's a really super cool fire truck in that it's a literal red truck with sort of a skull graphic hand painted on the side. It's just really, really, really neat.
Yeah.
If you're into that kind of thing like I am.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying a t-shirt with the graphic on it because it was so freaking cool.
And they are going to have that truck out like on display as well as another truck. So when we come through during RAGBRAI.
We asked them ahead of time to give a description of their town so we can have a little bit more information about what it's going to be like. And they said, we're planning to make us the fun party town. We have plenty of places to cool off and relax. So that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And then why don't you mention what the tacos were?
Yeah. So we, our last stop was it was a combination Mexican restaurant, but also it felt like you were in the local bar, but it was also the Legion Hall.
Yeah.
So we got to see a little bit of everything in there. Great people. They are fired up for all of us to come through. And yeah.
Yeah, their theme is come get hooked on Crystal Lake.
I get it. I get it.
We will. I think we're hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also shout out to the committee for making scotcheroos.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
I even got a to-go box of
yes.
scotcheroos.
And then from there, right now we're in Forest City. We basically just arrived, so we haven't really explored yet. Home to Winnebago.
That's right. Yep.
Yes.
And one of our sponsors this year. So you just might see Murph and I rolling around in a Winnebago during the ride.
That is true. Yeah.
It's pretty neat. And their theme is going to be Ride, Forest, Ride.
Just
like Forrest Gump.
I see.
It's going to be super cute. Knowing the committee, they're going to go all out with the theme. So prepare yourself for that.
Yeah. And we've got a couple different functions that we're heading to tonight. So we will have a full report tomorrow.
Yeah. I can't wait to tell you all about it.
All right.
Hopefully we ride tomorrow.
I know. Well, listeners, that's it for today. We both want to thank you for tuning in to listen to this special pre-ride edition of the award-winning Just Go Bike podcast.
If you'd like to contact us with a comment about the podcast, or maybe you have a topic in mind, you can reach us at justgobikepodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us on social media at JustGoBike on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram.
Please rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast, especially if you're a fan.
Okay, that's a wrap. We'll be back soon. Until then,
Just go bike!